Hey guys, so this is a part 2 to the narcissist sells you a sales pitch. This is a part 2 to the narcissist sells you a sales pitch. So in order to sell you a sales pitch, you have to know your customer. You have to know what you're dealing with. What are you working with? They want to know where you come from. They want to know your background. They want to know what you're into music-wise. They want to know, are you into politics? What religion are you in? Are you religious? Are you atheist? What are your traumas? What are your challenges? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Do you want a serious relationship? Do you not want a serious relationship? Are you or have you been in a serious relationship? This is like a whole interrogation, but this is all, designed to sell you a sales pitch. They need to know the customer and what the customer likes. They've ran across so many people, they have a quick idea of the kind of customer they're dealing with. As soon as they see you, they already have an idea. Then they're going to see if their idea of you matches their expectations of you. Then if it does, and they're able to make you smile, they're able to make you, trust them in any kind of way. If they feel like they feel genuine kindness and trust for them, they'll just keep asking more and more questions until you feel comfortable, or until they find something, that a conversation where they can see you're hiding. You're in a heightened state of mind where now they got you going. That means they have tapped in. That means they're trying to wire you. They're trying to reprogram you, because they're getting you in a mood where you're kind of excited, where you want to share certain things, or you feel like you could just let your guard down around this predator. You're not knowing it's a predator, right? So you have to think about it. The narcissist has no feelings, no emotions. They don't care about what their plans are for you, what they're ready to do to you. They don't care about their con. They don't care about lying to you about small things, about big things. So to them, it's like, it doesn't matter if I know how to be romantic. It doesn't matter if I take you out and I do nice things with you. It doesn't matter if I give you flowers and I make you feel special. I don't feel shit. It doesn't matter if we have really great sex. Why do women think their sex is so good? It's not even that good. They're trying to gaslight you so you can feel like, my sex is good. They'll say things that are very vulgar to you, to see if they can cross that line. So it's just gonna go from being nice to you, seeming like a nice person, giving you a compliment. If they see that the compliments, the fake niceness, is not making you give in, now they'll say something rude, or they'll play it off as a joke. And if you joke back with them, the joke is going to get worse. And then if you go back and forth with them, they're going to make it seem like you attack them, even though you know that it was them, poking at you, basically. Because they want to see how far can they poke you until you go off. When they see that you don't react to them, that you treat them like they're children, and you're just like, you're over it, it makes them feel insecure. It makes them feel like, oh, you think you're better than me? I have to prove that I'm better than you. I have to prove that you don't mean anything to me, and that's why I had to behave childish in the first place. And you're not going for that sales pitch, because now you're coming at me from a different angle. They keep coming at you from different angles. That's what these type of people do, because they don't feel shit. You have to keep reminding yourself of that. They'll smile at you, make you think, it's sweet granny, sweet grandpa, sweet uncle, sweet cousin, sweet mom and dad, sweet sister. They want you to feel like you could be someone that they're related to. They want you to feel like they're that sweet uncle you could trust, but they're a whole pervert out here. And I'm saying that from experience, because these people used to fool me. Now I'm like, really unfuckwithable. But I'm not going to say that I'm never going to fall for a con, because These people are very good at what they do. For the most part, it's very hard to fall for a con when you don't let anyone in and you refuse to, and you're actually happier. As much as they try to make it seem like you're miserable, they're trying to put their misery on you. That's another part of the sales pitch, is to make you believe that you're going to be miserable if you're not married, you don't have children, or if you don't have the perfect life, if you're not rich, if you're not, they want to use whatever tactics they can to sell you out, and to sell you something that will never be. You know, so if you're telling the narcissist about your future and where you see yourself, or where you see yourself in 5 years or anything like that, they're thinking to themselves, yeah, right, you're not going to do that, because they're stuck living in a con world. They're stuck living as con artists. They don't believe in anyone. They don't trust in anyone. And, you shouldn't either. But you have to think like a predator, because you have to think about it. Every animal that knows there's a predator above them, they know the signs and what to watch out for and where to stay away and when to go to sleep and when to go get up in the morning. Animals aren't dumb, so why should you be dumb when you're aware of what narcissism is? You have to be aware that the predator is everywhere. That just because we get to walk the same parks, the same beaches, go to the same places, and we have the freedom to go to these same places, doesn't mean that everyone in these places are the same as you. You got all kind of different animals running around. Think about the zoo. All them dangerous animals, the predators and the prey. Imagine if all them fucking cages just opened up. That's what you're going to get in this world. A whole bunch of narcissists. And they're not in cages. They're right around the corner. They're right next door to you. They're your family, your friends, strangers off the street, people calling your phone, people knocking at your door, people at your job, your co-workers. You're getting so comfortable with them. Never get comfortable with these people. They're playing games 360 days out the year. They're playing games. 99.9% of the time, they're playing games. They're trying to con you one way or another. Because if you trust them, they can do things right in front of you, and you won't even notice. You trust your coworker, she'll steal right in front of you, and then get you involved and make you feel like, you saw her steal and you didn't say nothing. Oh, I was just minding my business. No, she made you an accomplice to what she was doing, and she knew that. Or she probably would even blame you and say it was you who did it. She might beat you to the punch and say that you've been doing it before you say something about her, So the predator is always trying to do a sales pitch with you, and they always know what angle to come at you with. They try to come up to you really nice, polite. They'll even, offer you help for no reason. They'll act like, oh, I'm just a good person. I mind my business. But they're doing everything but that, because they're bothering you. It just, the way they do it, it's in a way where it doesn't seem like they're bothering you. But they're a whole animal in front of you bothering you. A whole fucking animal. Because that's what human beings are. Let's be real. It's just, we're intelligent to a certain extent. Because some people are just not intelligent to spot these narcissist salesmen that just pop up everywhere like ghosts. One minute they're on the other side of the room. The next minute they're right next to you. You got to keep your eyes on them. They're weird. You can feel their energy shifting. You can feel their energy. It's like the devil in the Crossroads. You gotta pick and choose every time you come across someone, because they're trying to take your energy by just talking to them. Sometimes I just look at them. Like, they'll say something to me, I'll just look at them, because I know they're with the bullshit. I'll just look at them, and then they don't even say anything back. They'll just walk away from me. because they know what they're doing. And they know I don't even want to waste energy to talk to you. I'm just going to use my eyes because I'm wide open. I'm real. I'm a real person. I'm not someone that's going to look away from you. I know what the predator wants. You want me to look away. You want me to be looking at my phone. You want me to be in la la land. No, I'm looking at you. I'm real. I'm a real person. I'm not fake. I'm not a zombie. I'm not out here zombified. I'm not someone you could pull their strings. So what the salesman will do is, you know, they'll go from being mad to they feel like they can't figure you out. You know, they made their perception of you. They told you what you weren't going to do, who you weren't going to be, what you weren't going to accomplish. Now they see that you're not messing with them. You're not even giving them energy because they tried to play you. Some of them will even say it out loud. Some of them, they'll even say their thoughts out loud. That's how much disrespect they have towards you. Some of them, they like the challenge. So they're like, oh, I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to give in yet. I like the challenge. They like the challenge. What's crazy about these salesmen is that they keep coming at you in different angles. The nice act don't work. The making you feel like I'm a familiar face don't work. I've been coming to see you for months, still not working. I'm trying to see you smile. You not giving in. I told you to smile. You frowning at me. You mean mugging me. Cause you already know I don't want to be bothered, but you obviously want to keep bothering me. So you obviously like my stubbornness. You think it's cute. The narcissist thinks it's cute when you have boundaries. You're there like, oh, you have boundaries? I can't just sell you something real quick and pretend like we're cool. I can't call you best friend, bestie. I can't call you brother, sis. I can't call you this. Why would you feel comfortable calling me this? Because we know the same people, because of this, because of that, because we had a moment. Come on, I know you're a good person. I know you are. You can tell them you're a bad person, they still won't believe you, because bad people don't give other bad people the time of day unless that other bad person is going to help them. So to them, it's like the fact that you even gave them the time of day, smiled at them, had a conversation with them, they feel like you should have spotted that I'm not a good person the moment you met me. You shouldn't even have had a conversation with me. You shouldn't even have smiled at me. You should have never said nothing to make yourself feel like you're comfortable, because now I'm going to mess with you. Another bad person, that wouldn't have gave me the time of day, you know? So the fact that and the fact that you keep trying to act like you're this tough person, I know you're mean to everyone else, but you're not going to be mean to me, because I'm just like you. So now what the salesman is going to try to do is they're going to try to act like they're just like you. So now they're going to start talking about spirituality. They're going to see where you at spiritually. You still believe in God? Because they feel like if you still believe in God, you're a sucker, you're a fool. That's how they look at you. You can't even tell these people your relationship with God. Ain't that fucked up? Don't trust no one but God to a whole nother level. You can't even share, because they feel like the people that go to church and the people that praise God, they feel like all those people are fake. The people who actually go to church every Sunday, they feel like those people are fake. So they feel like, okay, where are you at spiritually? Oh, you think those people are fake? Me too. Are you into tarot cards? Are you into demon possession? They want to know, are you into hocus pocus and all that? You know, are you into astrology signs? Now they want to take the conversation there to know, how much do you know about that? They're like, oh, okay, so you're not into this, you're not into cults. And it seems like you have a lot of information about spirituality, but you're not really spiritual as far as like the new age stuff, the tarot cards and all the other stuff, right? You're not into all that. So now they're like, okay, so you're not a dummy. You're not walking around with this third eye bracelet, because those be the main demonic ass people sometimes. And sometimes you do it to be cute, but you don't even know you're running across other people with the same bracelet connecting with them, and them motherfuckers be evil as hell. So they're looking at you like, okay, I'm trying to sell you now with the spirituality, but you ain't budging into that either. You don't care about that. You don't care about none of that new age stuff. You don't care about the cults. So now they want to know, how do you feel about politics? Now they want to know about politics. How do you feel about science? How do you feel about animals? How do you feel about... The list will just go on and on and on and on. It's a sales pitch. If you ain't budging, they feel like they can't figure you out. Now they're at the crossroads now. They done tried every sales pitch with you. Now they're at the crossroads. What can I do now? I know. I can tell you that I'm successful. Look at my suit. Look at my suit. Look at my body. Look, I take good care of myself. I drink lots of water, alkaline. Look at all the teas to clean out my intestines. They'll start talking to you now about healthy stuff, things that to help them look good, how they keep themselves up. They're trying to impress you now. They're showing you that they're good at dressing. You know, you don't really know nothing about this person. They could be lying about their name. They could be lying about their age. They could be lying about how many children they have. They might not even discuss none of these private things with you because they feel like you haven't discussed any private things with them. But yet they have touched down almost everything, every conversation that you could actually talk about. So they just keep going over time, giving you different sales pitch, trying to drain you from energy, because it's draining you because you're explaining to them how much you know when it doesn't even matter. But they want to know how much you know, because narcissists, not all of them are dumb. Some of them, especially the really dangerous ones, like the ones I'm talking about, the salesmen. See, a lot of them, they give themselves up. But the salesmen, they try so many different angles. You're going to think you're dealing with a cop. You think you're dealing with a detective. You're going to think, you're like, is this person a detective, a cop? Because they keep going and going. They won't leave me alone because they're preying on you and it's intriguing them. You're fascinating to them. You're like a pet to them, and they want to control you, but they don't know what angle to go with you because they can't figure you out. So it's frustrating. But it's intriguing. It makes the hunt fun. So now, they're going to hit you with the I'm successful, or materialistic things, or nice cars, or jewelry, or they have their own business. And it might be true, or it might not be true. It could be a lie. It could be a complete lie. And they're just investing in themselves. They're investing in their clothing. They're investing in their car. All those it could be just investments, and they could be also belongings of other people. It's a salesman. He got to look good. The salesman gotta have that nice car if you want to sell a car, right? So they're selling themselves, right? That's really what's going on. But they're trying to make it seem like they're trying to buy you, but really they want you to buy them, because you don't got nothing to do with this person. They want you to go into their world really bad. Now, they'll talk about healthy things, or they'll talk about things that you might not even be into because they know you're not into it. Then they'll talk about things or certain subjects that they feel like might make you insecure. And when they see that doesn't work, that you know yourself and you've separated yourself from things that people might use to try to attack you, because you already know things that the enemy is going to attack you with. Because once you've been with the narcissist, they will tell you your every flaw. They will put you down so low that By the time you heal, nothing that anyone ever says about you will ever hurt your feelings again. So you could have been a really sensitive person before the narcissist, where you were breaking down, crying almost about everything. But it was because you were confused, and because someone was abstracting life, energy, and finances from you and keeping you trauma bonded to them, to make you feel like you don't have a choice but to be there, because that's the best that you're going to get in life. That's what they made you feel like. It was a mind game. They love playing mind games. They love breaking people down. So when they run across someone that's not easy to sell their sales pitch, now they're going to try to make you insecure. That doesn't work. They're going to start, they're going to start saying things to make you feel stupid. Like, they're going to start talking about things that you've never heard of before. What's so crazy about this is that they might even go home and start Googling shit. They might start Googling things because they're like, I done picked at your brain in so many different angles. Now I'm going to start talking about the scientific part of certain things. So they'll start talking about science, right? They'll start talking about molecules. They'll start talking about atoms. Look, these people will start talking about anything. I'm just giving you an example. And you might be listening to them and you're thinking to yourself, they lost me. I understood everything they said because I can keep up with these intellectual conversations, but they lost me at some point. You have to, so you have to reveal to them, hey, you lost me at that point. What does that mean? They're going to explain it to you, and it's going to make them feel smart, right? It's going to make them feel intelligent. And if you're aware of this, you could tell them, you lost me there. I didn't understand a thing you said right there. I said, you could sit there and you could tell them, you're a really good talker. You know how to talk your way out of everything, huh? You could say something because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to talk their way into your life by making you feel stupid, by giving you information on something you don't have a clue about. And a lot of times the information that they're talking about, it's a whole bunch of jibber jabber. It's like bullshit that don't make sense, but it sounds very smart. Like when they put it in their terms, they're saying vocabulary words that sound intellectual, but the way they're using these words or whatever subject they're talking about, it's like they're saying half the truth, but they didn't even do their full homework. But they got, the show must go on, the salesman must go on, so they got to keep saying things to make you feel dumb. And a lot of people that feel dumb, what they do is that they kind of shake their head like they understand what they're saying, but don't really, like when somebody says something you don't understand, you kind of like shake your head, but you're just like, I don't know what the fuck this person's talking about. I just want to talk about something else because I don't know but I don't want to sound stupid. So, like when your teacher always told you there's never a stupid question. Like if you really don't know something, ask. It's better to ask. Because when you actually just keep nodding your head, the narcissist thinks that you're stupid. They're like, you're not even questioning me. I'm so smart. They feel so intelligent because they feel like I'm trying to get you, bitch. I try to get you through religion. That's not working. Get you through relationships, love bombing. That's not working. I'm trying to buy you. That's not working. They're trying different angles. They're even trying to act like you're a protector. Like if someone messes with you, they'll act like, oh, I'm going to protect you. I got your back. I'm going to give you compliments. Whatever, what if you're into music, they're going to act like whatever music you like, they're into it. They might even start dancing in front of you like clowns, looking like clowns. Like they just need their little red nose, right? They might tell you they're antisocial, but yet they had so much courage to just come up to you and start having all these conversations and throw themselves at you. You know what it's like being antisocial. So they're trying to see, do you believe me? Once you question them, oh, you say you're antisocial, but you seem social to me. They feel stupid. So now they're talking about religion. Okay, you're not into cults. They're crisscrossing everything. They're like, I can't try that. I can't try that. But at the same time, they like it that you have a lot of information, but they feel like you don't really know what evil is. You don't know to what extent I'll go, what measures I will go to get you as supply for myself. Because it's going to trick you. It's going to make you feel like, oh, this person knows I'm playing hard to get. Or they think you're playing hard to get when you really don't mess with them. But they think that you're playing hard to get. And to them, it's like, I like girls that play hard to get. Because I don't like girls who are easy. So they're going to give you the impression of the reason that they're pursuing you so hard is because you're not an easy target. Because you have boundaries. They're going to try to make it seem that's why they're pursuing you. But and this is scary because a lot of women use manipulation to attract men for supply. But what you don't understand is if you're attracting a narcissist for supply, you can't stay in relationships with these people because they're salesmen. So they're always going to end up emptying you out in the end. You're always going to end up losing, whether it's losing money, losing time, losing finances, losing opportunities to do other things with your life. You're going to end up losing in some type of way. And the people that don't end up losing because they're keeping up on their finances, they're going to school while being in this relationship, they're not depending on this person. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that make it out of toxic relationships. But people who put their eggs all in one basket with the narcissist, they end up losing everything, and they feel like, you know, they dealt with a bad salesman, and this bad salesman just took advantage of them, and they paid more than they were supposed to. They paid the price of something they weren't supposed to. You feel like I understand I was supposed to learn certain things in life about bad people, but you almost feel like they took more than they were supposed to. Like they really fucked you over in a way where it's almost like, what the hell did I do to you? Like, and they'll say that, they'll almost make you feel like you deserve to get treated that way. And you're kind of trying to figure out, what did I do? And they're basically telling you, you were naive, you were being too trusting. They're basically telling you you're too nice. That's why. And you're like, okay, but you practically almost killed me. This is why the narcissist salesman is so much more dangerous than your typical narcissist that just, they have red flags all over themselves because they're sloppy and just ignorant, or just can't control their anger, or they're on drugs or something. But more intellectual narcissists are salesmen in a sense of, they're so dangerous, so charismatic. They can easily fool a lot of women, and a lot of women actually protect the narcissist. A lot of women, a lot of mothers protect narcissists. They're drawn to them because a lot of times their children are narcissists and they baby their kids. So when they run across grown men, just like their grown baby man-childs, they attract a lot of those people, and they feed into it. And the narcissist likes that because when they get validation from other women, especially mothers, they love flirting with older women. When they get validation, they already know you probably got grown kids and they're narcissists just like me. And they'll basically say, you remind me of my mother, and I like you because you remind me of my mother. You know, I hate her, but she would do anything for me. So a part of them hates the women that they flirt with, but they like the validation it's giving them because they're salesmen, and it's making them feel like, oh, I'm a good salesman, I was able to sell you. So it gives them the fuel to want to go sell more cars, to get more supply. So when they run across targets that when you aren't persuaded by them, you actually become even a better target for the narcissist, because you are actually more challenging than the typical person. And typical people get the narcissist becomes very bored. So they like that they could pick at your brain like a salesman, but eventually when they're done picking at your brain and they feel like there's nothing more to pick at, the high comes down. The need to get you as supply, to sell you, because they feel like they tried every angle, and even though it took energy from you, because you're even interacting with this low bottom feeder, basically, And they feel like they got fuel because they got to know things about you that they shouldn't even know. They shouldn't know anything about you at all. You shouldn't even had a conversation with them. That's how the narcissist views it. So the fact that you had all these conversations, it was giving them the ambition to sell you as a salesman. And once they've tried every angle and it doesn't work, they do get tired, because now they feel like, I've learned everything there is to know about you. You didn't give in to my bullshit. I'm gonna go to the next target because you didn't finish. I was excited. I wasn't leaving you alone. You were building up the excitement in me, but you weren't budging, because in their mind, they feel like eventually you're going to give in to them. So this is why a lot of narcissists, while you're in a relationship with them, they start treating you like shit, because they're selling sales pitches to different people, and they feel like, oh, I'm going to come up on money. I'm going to come up with this supply. I'm going to be in a better situation. I'm going to move into their home. I'm going to get a job nearby their house, and I'm going to start being in this area. I'm going to start working in this area and try to attract more supply in this area. So they'll start treating you like shit. And then that sales pitch didn't go through. It's like expecting money, and then you're wasting all your money, and then boom, that sales pitch don't come through, and you realize you wasted all your money, and now you got to go back to the old supply because you don't got no more money. And now you're telling the old supply, hey, I don't have a lot of money, but I'll take you out. I only discarded you because I was broke, and I lost my job, and I was in a bad mood. But really, the person that they put all their eggs in one basket with, this person didn't want them moving into their home. They couldn't get to work because of that, because that person didn't want them sleeping there, and now they got to go back. So now they'll come to you, and they might not even tell you they're broke, because now they're like, last time I told them I was broke, I got to do a different sales pitch now, because they're going to feel like I'm only coming back because I'm broke. So I got to sell them something else. So now they're going to tell you, oh, let's go out, I miss you. And they're going to spend money on you. They're going to go pawn their gold jewelry. They're going to spend money on you and have a nice time with you. And their intention is going to be to have sex with you, because they think their sex is so great. They're salesmen. They're whores. They're sluts. They're prostitutes. The women are Jezebels. It's prostitution. So now, and they feel like you should know it's prostitution. Now, the salesman, the prostitute, the man whore, basically, is going to give you a different sales pitch. Now they're going to tell you, oh, I've been buying you stuff this whole time, and now I just got to kind of stop. And you'll say to them, you were broke, huh? Or you were going out to nice restaurants, when we broke up. Now you want to, come to me, and you don't have a lot, So they're going to keep selling you different sales pitches every time they hoover you. This is why when the final discard comes, and then they come back and hoover you after the final discard, and you actually know they moved on, they'll come back to you with another sales pitch. The sales pitch don't stop. And anytime you allow these people in, they think you're a fool. They think you're stupid, you're dumb. They're like, wow, I sold you a lot of sales pitches and you went for every single one of them. So when you finally don't go for it, they almost don't believe you. They almost think you're lying, A lot of times they're like, I know you're lying because you reached out to me months ago or a year ago giving me a sad story about how much you miss me, but you don't even realize that this was a whole con. You still don't want to wake up and see that this was literally a whole romance scam. I was nothing. It was nothing but a sales pitch, and now I'm on to the next. You think I'm thinking about you the way you're thinking about me? You're wrong. I'm on to the next, and even with the next, I'm still selling myself to other people behind that person's back. I'm never going to change. When the narcissist left me, he sends me a picture of 2 different women. One of them, I'm guessing, was the Jezebel, and the other, I could tell it was an empath. You didn't really want her. She wasn't attractive. You were just going to use her, So to the narcissist, it's all about supply. Who I can be, one person I'm going to use, the other person I'm going to have sex with and have fun with. And, and a lot of times they'll leave you for the Jezebel, but not for too long. They'll come back, And then if they find them another empath and they already know you're catching on to the game and they know they've tired you down, you don't even argue with them, they're going to use that empath because they're so filled with emotion, especially if they're young. They're filled with emotion. And when someone is deep in their emotions, they're easy to manipulate. So a lot of people will say, I'm grown, I'm 18. No, you're still filled with a lot of emotion, because if somebody says something to you that you don't like, you're ready to defend yourself. Someone disrespects you, you're ready to argue back with them. So 18, 19, 20, 21, you're still filled with lots of emotions, and narcissists will prey on you. Those are the perfect years to prey on you, because you're filled with emotions. You're raging at your parents, you're raging at everyone. You're, oh, I don't need anybody, I'm independent. Oh, I'm grown, I don't need no one giving me rules. That's emotions. You're not seeing that people are trying to protect you from the world, from the big bad wolf, from the salesmen that's all over, that are everywhere, including your friends. You think they're your friends, they're salesmen. They're putting an image. They're using you for bait to attract other girls or other women or other opportunities, or financially wise, or for a ride, or someone to hang out and have fun with. One minute they pay for stuff, the next minute you pay for stuff. And sometimes you might end up doing more for these people, showing up for them for their baby showers and their happy events and weddings, and they've never been there for you, not in that way. So they sold you out. You're sitting there showing up at their birthdays and stuff. They don't even show up at you. They don't even care about your birthday. They're selling you a sales pitch, So the last resort that the narcissist is going to do when they know they can't get through to you in any kind of tactic or way, because they know that you're not emotionally invested in anything of the world when it comes to anything of anything. You're not, you have a lot of information, you're smart, you like learning new things, but this is why the narcissist likes learning new things. They like learning new things from different people. They like going different places. They like studying different cultures. They like doing all these things, but it's only because they want to manipulate. It's only to be a salesman. This is why they like to learn as many things. This is why they like to dress a certain way, because they want to attract a certain type of people. And once they attract that certain type of person, they want to be able to hold a conversation with you. If you're a low-grade narcissist, you're not going to be able to hold a conversation with a higher grade narcissist, because he's going to be picking at your brain, and they're going to make that low-grade narcissist feel stupid, and that low-grade narcissist is going to get filled with rage like a little kid and throw a tantrum. Where a more advanced narcissist, they already know that that's their natural born pattern, but they know they're more intellectual. So they're like, I know that's what you're expecting me to do, is get mad, get angry. So I'm going to do the opposite. So they train themselves to be the opposite. They train themselves to be the good guy, the good salesman, smiling at you with the suit on and everything, the shiny shoes, right? So they do the sales pitch because they know all the tactics that a low grade bottom feeder narcissist would do, because that's who they are at heart. At heart, that's who they are. They're savages. But they're like artificial intelligence. They study different subjects and different types of people. So they're gonna give you information of an artificial intelligence information, but there's not going to be any emotional intelligence in any conversations or any actions of theirs. And any actions of theirs, it's going to be artificial empathy. It's not going to be real, and you're going to feel that it's fake, because you're going to feel like, as an empath, you don't want no one to feel sorry for you, especially when you're well aware. And it's not gonna seem genuine. You're gonna realize that a lot of people are giving fake empathy out here. You're gonna see it as it's gonna be clear. You're gonna be going through something, and you're gonna be watching everyone. And you're gonna see how they're feeding off of you. They're bottom feeders. Even the people that come to you to your rescue and they seem like heroes, eventually they're going to feel like, because they saw you in such a vulnerable state, they're going to feel like they could talk to you, treat you however, or you should always be on your hands and knees for them, or they're going to act like you can never tell them when they're wrong. When they're wrong about something and it's clear as daylight, they're going to feel like you can't tell me when I'm wrong, even though they're wrong. So the last thing that these people will do is that they're going to feel like, I'm going to eventually get you. And then when they realize that they can't get you, they still feel like they got you because they learned as much as they could about you and they got exhausted. They're like, there's nothing else I can do. But that's not going to be the last thing they do. That's not going to be the last resort of the salesman. So since the salesman knows they can't get to you in any kind of way, they're going to negotiate with you. They're going to say, let me still take you out. We don't got to do anything. Let's still do something. We don't got to have sex. We don't got to do nothing. Spend the night. Spend the night, please. I'm not going to touch you. We could just sleep in the same bed. I'm not going to touch you. They're sniffing you. They want your scent. They want your energy all in their house, in their bed. That salesman is not going to stop. Now he's going to tell you the truth. I'm married, but I still want to hang out. Now he's going to tell you the truth, and it's going to be like, damn, you're married? You didn't tell me that, right? And it's going to make you feel like you're somebody. If this person's married and they've been putting so much work to talk to you, there had to be something they liked or something exciting that you have that their wife or their old wife don't got. That's how you feel, especially if you're a young person, because you're filled with emotions and you're easier to manipulate. Because you got someone that's grown acting like they're going to help you or build you up when they're not. They're going to take more, get more. They're going to get supply out of you just by being around you, just by the appearance of what it looks like. So to them, it's like, okay, now I'm going to tell you the truth. And this is where it's going to tell me what kind of person you are. Are you weak? Are you going to take me in and accept my proposal just because you see I got money, you see I got things? Because I know that's you want a sugar daddy anyway. But what you don't know is you're making a deal with the devil. The devil's going to collect. They feel like if you're going to use me because of what the nice thing, they're the ones who sold you the salesman pitch, and then they get mad at you because you bought the salesman pitch and you know the game and you're agreeing to it. And they're like, okay, well, this is the last resort. Let's go out. Let's have fun. No strings attached. They're trying to make it seem like you're going to benefit from this. But the reality is that if it was so easy to get supply and to just use somebody for sex and not get nothing in return and just use each other for sex, if it was that easy, they wouldn't have put so much damn thought into trying to sell you this dream and to trying to morph into whatever you want to be. I mean, whatever they want, and trying to morph into whatever your idea person is. They wouldn't have tried to work so hard to convince you. Sometimes certain people are easier. They're able to convince easier. But that's why the narcissist gets bored, because they're like, oh, I see through you. You're a Jezebel, or you're just using me. You're low of intelligence. You know, they'll seek a Jezebel a lot of times. Mentally wise, that Jezebel is like a bottom feeder. Like a bottom feeding Jezebel, not a higher quality Jezebel. So they'll, oh, I'm bored. I'd rather go with this empath over here who has boundaries that's more challenging, because it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder and fun to break this person down because they get bored easily, you know? So part of the salesman con is to even tell you the truth about themselves, even tell you that they're con artists, or tell you they have a past, or tell you even try to act like they're gonna involve you in some of their con acts to get some money, and they're gonna put some money in your pocket, and they're gonna tell you, what, you want to go back to school, you want to do this, I'll help you with this, I'll help you with that, I'll help you with this. Go get one of those green dot cards. You know, they're going to be telling you to go and do certain things that you're not used to. And then next thing you know, they got your name, your last name. You know, they're making accounts under your name. You don't know what other information they've gathered. They want to get close to you. They want to get into your home. They want to go through your private things. They want to go through your private paperwork. They want to go through everything. And this person has admitted to you now that they're a narcissist in many different ways. They won't say the word narcissist, but they'll tell you in many different ways. And they'll feel like, well, if you find this, if you think this is fun, if you think that this is a thrill, because you feel like you've been having a boring life, you've been living every day boringly, living a routine life, and now I've came to your life bringing some excitement, I know that's what's going to buy you. It's the excitement. Let me turn your life around. You're walking around very zombie-like. You're walking around following the rules. You're walking around minding your business. They're acting like you deciding to live a normal, boring life has to be hell for you, because it's hell for them. So they're projecting that onto you, you know? So they're acting like, oh, you're going to get something in return. I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to bring joy into your life. We're going to have fun, or no strings attached. And that's because they can't get the type of supply that they want, because the type of supply that they want, they're going to have to pay for it. They're going to have to pay for sex. They're going to have to pay for these things. And this is why they lie. This is why they sell you the sales pitch. This is why they lie. You have to think about it. They have to get a whole nother woman when they're with a Jezebel, or someone being manipulated by the Jezebel spirit, because it's jumped into them from the narcissist. Now that person is acting like a man, and the narcissist is acting like the woman. They've exchanged spirits. The narcissist is acting like a woman. The Jezebel is acting like a man. And now she doesn't care about having sex with a woman or a male. And she's going to go get supplies. She's trying to befriend women, acting like she's your friend, or she wants to be your friend. And then later on, you're having fun with her. You go out on to a dinner date, and she's telling you, oh, me and my husband, me and my boyfriend want to have a threesome, but we don't trust anyone. We don't trust strangers. They're lying to you. It's a sales pitch. Strangers, you can go get a stranger to have a threesome with you, but you're going to have to pay them. They don't want to pay people. They want to use people. It's a sales pitch. Everything is a sales pitch with these people to the end. And there's no amount. It's like, what would someone do for money if their life depended on it, and they were a narcissist? They would sell everyone out. So this is why you can't put your guard down with any narcissist. And then this is another one before I end this video. If they can't get through you in any kind of way, even by telling you the truth, they'll try to get to you by acting like there's something wrong with you, turning on you. And then they'll even use scriptures or the Bible or God against you, like you're doing something wrong, like you're a bad person because you won't feed into their sales pitch. It's like watching a whole bunch of grown-ass people having freaking tantrums. A whole bunch of old-ass, grown-ass people having tantrums because what they're selling, you're not buying. Be about your business. Get what you got to get, go. Ask what you got to ask, go. They want to befriend you, get you to trust them, get you to put your guard down, act like, I don't know, we're like your friends. I don't know what be going on with these people, but most of the time when you run across people who are trying so hard to get to know you or to be in your life, it's scary because it's not like an enemy who doesn't like you from a distance, or someone who might not even be an enemy. They just don't want to be bothered, you know, because they're afraid of narcissists. They might think you're the narcissist. They're just afraid, you know. This is someone who is trying to get close to you to sell you something. They want something from you. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace. If you guys haven't heard part 1, please, you know, I know this is a very interesting topic, but, you know, watch part 1 so you guys can understand the whole complexity of all this. So like, share, comment, subscribe if you guys are new. If you guys are interested in booking a session with me and, you know, supporting my channel, my booking information will be on the description. Just give me 24 hours to respond to you. And as always, sending you guys lots of love. Talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.